There's a company called Porta Johns. Porta Johns is the biggest porta potty company in the United States of America. They have a subsidiary company called Enzymes of America. When I say they, I'm talking about the pharmaceutical industry. You know where Enzymes of America gets their enzymes from? They have a contract with Porta Johns. Porta Johns gathers all the people. They then put it through a process to get and isolate the enzyme, one being urokinase. You cannot patent something that occurs naturally in nature. So they take urokinase, they then mix it with a bunch of synthetic garbage. That's the drug that they're giving you, and they're basically selling you your own urine back to yourself, only under the disguise of a patented drug. But if they allowed you as a human being to understand what I just said, then people would have free medicine. And they can't have that.
I guess they're literally selling your own urine back as a drug. And now I hate to harp on the boomers. I feel like I've been doing that for the past 2 months. But that's part of the problem, is because they see doctors as these soothsayers. You know, I always I look at it like The Sopranos. Remember the dad, Tony's dad? He had this weird love for doctors. You know, he just thought whatever the doctor said was just, you know, it was like the word of law. Right. And so I don't think that's the way it is now with the younger generation, but with the older generation, it is. And that's, of course it is, because they grew up, you know, and that's what it was. You know, your doctor told you take these 2 pills and you were probably okay. You're probably okay before you went there, but that's how it is. Selling your own pee right back to you. I think that is just hilarious. True or not? I don't know. 1 million, the worst signal in history, ... in history? Seems a little hyperbolic, pianomattyb. It was the job revisions. Almost 1,911,000. The worst on record. The second worst being 2009. Look, see, I did a little prep. I got the arrow. The worst being 2009, 902. Holy smokes, Carl. Whoa. That's not it. That's not it. There it is. Carl Elder with 5 pianomattyb gift members shy. On this very Wednesday when we're having a pump for ants. What is that music in the background? There it is. One Else Productions. I want to come to see your shows in Winnipeg. Yeah, you should. But Terry Crow's coming. Thank you for the 5 memberships, Carl Elder. Much, much appreciated. Here we have the worst signal in American. Now, this is where things get kind of weird, because what everything is saying isn't good. Right. And so now there's a contrarian play that Bitcoiners take, like whatever's bad for the economy is good for Bitcoin. And to a certain degree, as it plays out, it's true. But there is pain getting there. We're not immune to a massive downturn, especially one that's arguably, a lot of the metrics for the economy are worse than the great financial crisis. So think about that. It's hard to even imagine, but it is, especially this one. Worse by, 10,000 job revisions. What's the next closest? 2024, last year, 600. So in the last 2 years, that's why I don't believe any of the data. The 200 PhDs and analysts at the Fed. Well, obviously, it's the biggest waste of time that you could biggest waste of money as well. But that's the system, right? And then so like when these numbers come out, I could care less, because I know how many times are the numbers going to come out till people completely not care about these numbers? Like for me, I tuned out of these Fed numbers a long time ago. And I'll never come back unless they change the system. But it's a lie for a reason, so they can mold the narrative of their next move, right? If they fully reacted on what the hell the metrics were, we'd be in a different position. But I do see, I mean, the best case scenario is that there's, complete economic calamity that finds its way into a safe haven. But I think before that, there's a little bit. So historically, pause, pivot. The third one is recession, right? So if you go back in history of these times that we're entering into, it's pause, which we did, pivot, which we have arguably, much to the chagrin of, old Scotch and the Rocks, Jerry Pow, and then recession. Now, this time's different maybe. I don't know. So I guess to me, it fuels my thesis that we may run up into, which we're kind of doing right now, if you really think about it. Like, is this not, okay, where's it looks like this price isn't moving. Where do I keep the price again? I forgot. Here? Oh, great. Sign in. Fuck off. Get out of that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Now, if I move this, there we go. Yeah, see, it was. Where's that? Stupid. It's just ridiculous what I'm doing here. There it is. 113.7. So it is. We are doing a little bit of a pump for ants. Nothing to get excited about because we aren't even at the 200 moving average. So it's like this is what we said yesterday. This cute, if it's gonna play out, which we went over this cute little bull flag will take us to 114.3. So we're $700 away from it. We got to get over the 200 moving average before we even talk about anything. This isn't exactly perfect. There, now we can sleep tonight. So hey, it's a nice looking candle, nice looking candle. Hopefully it doesn't get swatted down by the captured market. Hopefully we can bust through the 200 moving average. That would be 113.9. Let's call it a $1.80 away from the 200 moving average. This is where it was like I've been saying for the weeks, wake me up at the 200 moving average. Now, in a normal functioning market, we would probably see it hit here, get rejected, and come back down to 112.5 and then make another way up. In a normally functioning market, that's what when I say normally functioning market, I mean no massive moves, just kind of the ebb and flow of the bots. Buy, sell, buy, sell. You know how that works. My things are all. What happens if I do that? Oh, okay. I can see the comments again. Bruce Mai, did Duke do the last intro last week? And no, he didn't. I'm kind of giving it time. I want him to be prepared. You know what I mean? Like, and as much as he says he's prepared, once those lights are on, it's a different story. So I want him to be very confident. He is confident. You ask him. So he's either going to do Bohemian Rhapsody or he's going to do this kind of medley. Pink Pony Club goes into New York State of Mind. So let me know what you guys would rather hear when Duke opens the show. This is a healthy. You can always Bruce Mike. You can always rewatch the stream just to make sure. Pump those numbers. You can always rewatch it. This is a healthy green candle. Well, I'm going to say, I haven't really seen such a healthy green candle in a long time. Now, part of my thesis, don't shoot the messenger, is that we will run up into the Fed announcement. Because you know how the market is part of the shame cycle, right? It likes to get your hopes up. Oh, we're going to the moon as soon as they release the hounds. I think we might see a downturn. Now, I hope we don't. So, Terry Curl, Pink Pony Club. Oh, yeah. So, Terry, I'm going to do it on the night you're there, Friday. We'll get Duke, because I think if you're coming all the way from Kansas, you might as well meet Duke in person as well. So, we're going to do that, I guess, on the 26th, or was it the 27th? It's the Friday. I was looking at this too. This is what I said. I say 102. Bitcoin must hit 104 to repeat past bull. Now, Bitcoin doesn't have to do anything, but I do believe that 102 is, max pain. It would get everyone thinking along the lines of it's all over, pack your bags. Once we kind of get around 102, I don't think we'd be there for long, but it could just to wash out, the last of the stranglers. Like believe me, what Friday the 26th, did you and Kyle decide anything for Saturday that the Jimmy is closed? No, we haven't. Nothing's come up. We were going to do the basement that night, but things changed. We're doing it the 18th, which is this week or next week. I don't know. This is a Thursday. Bitcoin is busy copying previous bull market consolidation phases, but seller exhaustion may only kick in if Bitcoin price drops another 8,000 from current levels. I don't think we're witnessing retail seller. I think we are. It's a clash of the titans here. You have these massive institutions buying on OTC, and you have these, old whale nerd bombs living in their parents' basement that are like, you know what, I'm going to, get $1 billion and move out with my parents. I'm going to bring my parents with me, And that's what we're seeing, but we're not, I don't really see, the concept of paper hands, lettuce hands. I think those days are over. However, I was having a conversation last night at the old squash club with the only other Bitcoin guy there. And we were running the scenario of 140, 150 of a peak. Now at 140, 150 peak, I do believe the black swan, which is no retail. So look at that. That's an absolute flat line of this is the Google interest in Bitcoin in the States. Not even Canada's even worse. So look at that. It's just a solid leg down. This black swan of retail of people, Bitcoin being at, over 100K and no one caring. This is a black swan. I've said this many times. I think this is the black swan. Did anyone, the black swan is something you don't see coming, right? Now, no one saw the complete lack of interest in retail being even on a bingo card, right? No one was saying, what might be different this cycle is that we'll get to the top. It'll be over 100K and no one will care. No one said that. And this is the black swan. So the concept of 140 or 150, why it would cement the retail never coming back is because it wouldn't have enough juice in the squeeze for people to get excited. I think 200K might be a little bit of a catalyst, but then again, the law of large numbers comes into effect, right? So you get the average noob. It's just like 200K. Well, why would I buy that? I'll buy a mutual. I'll put my money into a nice, safe mutual fund. Thank you very much. They'll go back to that. So we'll almost see like a financial literacy regression back to the old dog days of losing money continually as you don't outperform inflation, right? I think we'll see that. We will. So at a 140, 150, I also think we will see a distribution from the last bull mark hodlers. Maybe some of you may be, everyone's talking about fatigue. It's a fatigue of a different kind. But I also think there will be hodler fatigue if we don't see massive numbers. I think some people who have held, say, at 69, I think there's a lot of people that, bought the top thinking it would go to 100K, right? And then they went all the way down to 15.5, right? And then they've worked all the way back, and so at 140, they've doubled in 4 or 5 years. It's not good. It's not juicy. It's not exciting, right? So I think you will see a lot of capitulation from these people. They'll just be like, you know what? I don't want to sit here for 4 years again for a possible double. I know how crazy that sounds, right? It sounds crazy to us. You don't want it to double in 4 years? Like what double? Even that, the worst performance ever Bitcoin could do is still 100 times better than most financial advisor. I know a financial advisor is not gonna double your portfolio in 4 or 5 years, but that's another scenario altogether. We understand that, but sadly, I think people will look at it as not enough juice in the squeeze, and then they will leave. So the secondary OGs, people that got in 2021, I think we will see an exodus, and they'll never come back, right? They will take their doubling, their 2X, and they'll go. And they'll just, I don't know, maybe go back to normal life. To a certain degree, normal life would be, it's almost like returning to the Truman Show, not knowing the cameras are on. You're just like, yeah, this is kind of nice not knowing about how everything works. On the ding dong, we are playing out this head and shoulders pattern, which does go to 118. But I would like to see maybe today 114.7 would take us to the 50 moving average. We got to be above the 50. On the daily, we have to see price action above the 50 moving average, or we have nothing to talk about, right? It's a nice looking candle. We haven't seen one since last Tuesday. Is it Tuesday today? Is it Wednesday? Yeah, so a week, a whole week of absolutely nothing. Like, price, look at it. That's a pretty tight channel for the ding dong. I think the guy's still asleep over there. Like, wake me up at least over the 50. Don't wake me up if we're under the 50. That's where we are. First step, 114.6. Second step, 116.6 to get back into the channel of monotony. Just the channel of monotony. Not all-time high, nothing like that. But then we will, play out this head and shoulders pattern. This might be a fast little skip to Malou, my darling, up to 120 once we get there. Because you'll see some. So this is, I kind of think where we'll get to this somewhere in this channel of monotony by next week's rate de-hikes. Once he reduces the rates, I think we will kind of bake into that and see a sell-off. It's not what I want. It's not what I want to see. But you know what? The market doesn't treat me well. It doesn't treat us well. It wants to take a few of us as possible. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video.